Okay, I'm gonna take you with me. We are walking down the trail. I know it's the trail because it says so. And I'm gonna go off to the right and I'm gonna cut down Chinese tallow trees. I'm trying to give my forest or woods a chance to compete against them. And if they start out one-on-one, they can't compete. The tallow trees will outgrow and outspread all the native species. However, a lot of these trees have been here for 10 years. So if I can cut the tallow trees, then the native species will have a 10-year head start. Now out in the middle, in these wet areas that I've been working on draining, there aren't many trees. So I'm gonna have to pay more attention to keeping the tallow trees out so that the native trees can get going without competing against them. It's tough to compete against these tallow trees. They grow faster, spread faster. We've had an extended drought and all the local trees are turning brown. A lot of them are dying. Tallow trees look super. They have the ability to, their root system just grows faster. They have better roots. So anyway, we're gonna go down here. I'm gonna go off to the right. We're gonna start cutting trees. On the left is the middle of the trail. It's kind of a horseshoe, but not, it's kind of irregularly shaped. And I feel like I've gotten 90% of those tallow trees out of there in the last year plus. To the right, I've only been working on it for the last maybe 3 months since summertime. Yeah, I'm making progress. I can't go 8 hours doing this. It's very physical. Besides carrying around a backpack sprayer that always wanted to fall over while I was sawing until my wife told me how stupid I was. I needed to tighten the straps, and that made it a lot better. But it's still physical. I'm doing lunges. I don't get on my knees. I did that in the beginning, and I'm like a magnet for chiggers. They're a little bug that causes you a lot of distress. But since I've been on my feet and just doing lunges and keeping my knees off the ground, I haven't had a chigger problem. It's just dealing with thorns. So we're gonna go in here and see what we see.
This is not really high tech. I just wander around and I cut every one I see up to about 3 inches. If they get bigger than that, I do the hack and squirt method. You gotta poison them, because if you just cut them down, they'll root sprout, and where you had 1, you'll have 30. So you have to spray them with poison. I'm using Pasture Guard. I'll show you that in a minute. And you know, just you wander and cut. If they're little bitty, like with green stems, I just spray them. I prefer to cut and spray the stump because there's less overspray, there's less waste, there's less damage to the surrounding greenery. And I like the backpack sprayer, even though it's kind of uncomfortable at times, because it keeps the poison away from my face. I did get it in my eyes one time. It is very, very painful.
Yeah, I've definitely been right through here before. That one's cut down. There's one over there cut down. And now I'm heading out this way. And I see a couple more cut down. Let me see if I can get out of here without getting scratched up. Alright, there's a good sized one that I missed. See if I can get to it. Lots of thorns.
There will always be popcorn trees on this property, but they're out of control. Nobody's messed with them for, I guess, decades. I don't know. This front part, I'm guessing, was clear cut about 11 years ago, and some of these tallow trees look like they're 11 years old. I'm never going to be able to control them. The birds drop seeds, the wind blows seeds, but I'm going to knock them back so that they're not a threat to the native vegetation. They love blackberry vines, or blackberry vines love them. They just seem to grow hand in hand, so I spend as much time chopping blackberry vines back so I can get to the tree as I do sawing and spraying the tree. I've been using this little curved tree saw. I bought it at Home Depot. I've had it from day one. It's over a year old and it's still fairly sharp. The popcorn trees grow so fast that they don't have like a lot of hard heartwood until they get about 3 or 4 inches, and then they get some wood that takes a little while to cut through. But the ones that are 3 inches or less, the little saw goes through them pretty quick if you can keep it from binding up. If you can figure out which way the tree wants to fall and cut from the other side so the saw doesn't get in a bind.
Okay. Get out of here.
I usually go cut once in the morning while it's cool. It's the summertime. And I cut, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 every time I go out. It just depends on how hot it is and how big they are and how many vines are around them. So I've cut hundreds of these things. And I can tell I'm making progress, but I'm not through. I got a ways to go.
Ow, 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 shit. So actually, I'm not scared of snakes. I know we have them, but I'm not scared of them. I don't do stupid things. I don't put my hand under a log that I can't see. But I'm scared of ants because I could be standing in an ant nest and not know it until they're all over me. And I don't do well with ant bites. Kind of scared of hornets too, since they got me that one time. So yeah, I get the jitters, but it's not for snakes. Trash kill that I did not do today, so I was probably here either a few days ago or last week. There's one I missed standing, and there's another one back there I missed standing, and there's one back there that's on the ground. Go figure. Oh wait, the standing one's been cut, so it's not as bad as it seems. Maybe I'll just miss this one.
I'm pretty careful with the chemical. It's bad chemical. But I did manage to get some in my eye one time, and I don't know how. I probably had it on the back of my glove, and I probably wiped my forehead. I didn't actually spray myself, and I was pretty uncomfortable for the rest of the day with runny eyes, and then I'd rub my eyes so much I rubbed the skin raw around it. So yeah, you gotta be careful with this stuff for sure.
So whenever I was here last, I got this one over here, and this one, but I missed that one. Go figure. I guess after I come through here like 3 times, maybe I'll have them all. I guess it's not that big a deal to get every single one of them, but I would feel better if I got every single one of them. Part of the challenge of doing this, besides actually cutting and not kneeling down, is these thorns that you have to walk through, and they will get you. Look at this guy. This is not the normal thorns. Most of them are blackberries. This thing's weird. I'm gonna cut it with the saw. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in like a 10-foot circle. Yeah, I could be doing this the rest of my life. It might be, who knows. So I got right here, I put the camera down and I cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got to get this little one. I cut this one, 7. I just hacked the bark on this big one, so that's 8. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 trees, right? Within a 10-foot radius almost. It's crazy. I know my son thinks I'm nuts worrying about these things, but I want my grandkids to have a pretty forest. A varied forest. Now, on the good part, there's a sweet gum. There's some oaks in here. Well, right here is just mostly pine trees. There's an oak tree. So we'll give these trees a chance. We'll have a nice mixed forest one day. So I left the tripod camera behind to get this one. And then I saw this one. And I think there's another one. But I'm on a big time deer highway, and it's kind of nice because they tromp down most of the vines. So it's just pine straw. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to cut, 6 to cut, and I'll back back to the camera and go that way. So it seems like once the pine trees get this big, I guess this is like 12 years old because that's how long it's been since they cut, then the understory trees don't really become a problem. So that's why I'm trying to get to the tree line. And if there are some tallow trees up in there aren't many and they have competition, it's at these new tree lines where the trees are little that the tallow trees like take charge. So I've got a pair to cut here and a group of 5 to cut there. I'm almost out of water, so I think I'm going to cut these, head back to the cabin, take a cool down. And unfortunately, it would be nice if I could just come right to this spot and just keep going, but it's very hard to do that because all of this stuff, all these acres look exactly the same. So I just keep coming back to the tree line, and lots of times I'm cutting where I've already cut, but I always miss some. And a lot of times I find a spot that I haven't cut any yet. So let me cut these five. Let me go try to find my tripod camera. I think I know where it is. And go get some cool water, because all I can carry with me really is just a water bottle. Yeah, logistics is an issue, dragging all this crap with you when you're going through these vines. Made it back to the cabin. Thorn damage, minimal. Nothing on this arm, believe it or not. So, I'll take these boots off, they hurt my feet, get some water and chill out for a little while. Well, this is a very big one. Well, all things are relative. This is a chainsaw worthy tree, but I don't have a chainsaw with me. And dragging a chainsaw along with me, in addition to all this other stuff, is just not going to happen. So do some damage to the outside and spray it, and it should die. It should be all it needs. I can actually do that to all of them, but it's easier just to cut the little ones down. All right, let's keep moving. I see another one right there. And 2 more straight ahead, right behind some blackberry vines. So I left the camera here and crawled through some thorns to cut one big one I saw. I ended up cutting 6. It's just crazy how many of these are in here, but I'm gonna cut them all. I got time, I hope.
So the tallow trees make a seed pod. It turns white. It looks like popcorn. That's why people call them popcorn trees. Mammals cannot or won't eat them. Deers won't eat them, squirrels won't eat them, rabbits won't eat them. Some birds eat them and then they fly and poop, and that's how they spread so fast. But yeah, they're a very pretty tree. They're ornamental. People grow them in the city, which is not so bad because you can control them. But out here, there's no control. And we'd have a full forest of beautiful tallow trees, but we wouldn't have any animals if we don't make an effort to control these things. And that's what I'm trying to do, is have a varied forest for the grandkids.
Okay, so I've been in here a little less than an hour, starting to get a pretty good blow going. It's just physical, climbing and cutting without putting your knees on the ground. It's pretty physical. Oh well, I see 1, 2, 3 more while I'm just standing here. Let me get those. Okay, this little area had just a ton of them, but I think I've got them all. So let's move until we see some more. I see a little bushy one here. Bushy one's usually when the original one was broken off. So we're gonna get this one. I see a little bitty one over here. And maybe just one over there needs a little spray. All right, let's get it. Okay, so I stumbled into a new sort of opening, and I've been here before, because here's a dead one, there's a dead one, there's another dead one, here's a dead one, here's a dead one, here's a dead one. But I must have passed up these big huge ones. I get tired, you know, with the sun hammering on me, and it's like, screw it, I'll get it next time. So here's a big one, here's a big one, here's a big one, here's a big one, and here's two mediums. The big ones I'll probably just hack and spray, and the little ones I'll cut. There's another big one up in there. Holy moly, I'm gonna be here for a few minutes. Let's move on. And again, I'm trying to go on the perimeter of this area up to where the trees are growing big and healthy. I'm out in the middle. I've done a lot of that already. Out in the middle, it's wet. And it's my understanding trees don't like wet feet. So they struggle. And they're not as healthy as these are. And I haven't drained around here yet, but I will. Here's a dead one from the other day. Here's a dead one from another day. That one needs to be cut. There's one that's been cut. So I've been through here before. That one, there's two of them that are cut. But it takes like 3 times, because every time you go back, you find them, the ones you missed. And when I do finally get this perimeter, the middle part, it'll be kind of easy. For one thing, I can bring the 4-wheeler and bring the chainsaw and the loppers and all my different tools. But when I'm on foot, logistics, it's really hard to carry much more than this little saw. So it's a nice feeling when I walk through here and see tallow trees on the ground that I've already gotten. I feel like I'm doing something. Yeah, I've been through here. I've been through here. Now you see that tallow tree has a little bit of green left going to the ground. It hasn't died yet, but it will. Look at the deer trail here. It looks like a highway. My goodness. Time to walk back to the cabin and get some more water. So I never know exactly where I am. So do I know where I am? Am I lost? No, I'm not lost. I know if I go toward the sun, I'm gonna get to the trail. If I go to my right, I will get to another trail. If I go behind me, I will get to the other trail. And if I go that way, eventually I will get to the road. So in that respect, I know where I am. But in another respect, if I would like lay my saw down and forget it, or lay the camera down and then try to come back to find it, it might take a week because it all looks the same. Another little bed. Somebody slept here probably last night because there's no dew on it. So I probably roused them up this morning. They're pretty stealthy. You don't usually hear them unless you get real close to them and scare them, and then they take off. And all those thorns that I can't go through without all my grief, they'll charge through there at 40 miles an hour if they have to, or think they have to. They don't really have to. I'm not gonna hurt them. I'm gonna make another gallon of my tree potion. This is Pasture Guard. This little quart was like 60 bucks, but it makes it a lot of stuff. 40 gallons roughly at 1.5 ounces per gallon. It's hard to get exactly that though. Probably gonna make a little less. And then I put 1.5 to 2 ounces of this, which is a surfactant. Doesn't really say much about it. So blends really almost. It improves the wetting characteristics of the spray solution. In other words, it makes it stick. This is cheap. This was 20 bucks for a gallon. So I probably shouldn't put a little more. Okay. So that's all I need to make a gallon of my chemical, and I use just an old plastic bucket. Pour this into here. We use a funnel so I don't spill it all.
And then, whoops, that was kind of messy. I cleaned out my bucket and a funnel. And fill it up to a gallon. And I used to put 3 gallons in the sprayer. That's too heavy. Then I started putting 2. And if I'm just walking and spraying, I'll put 2. But if I'm walking and bending over and using the saw, and I'm doing my lunges, 1 gallon in there is plenty enough weight to make me miserable. I came through here before because this tree is down and this tree is down, but I missed this one, that one, that one, and that one, and that one. It's like 6 more, 7 more. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes if I've been out here for a while and I get really hot, it's hard. You just say screw it, and I'll get it another day. I don't know why I missed these, but let's get them. That's one. Got some thorns. Need to chop back. Always thorns. Alright, let's get this one. Okay. There's a little baby. Okay. Here's one that is not quite so much a baby. Saw a couple more. Oh, here's one behind the thorns. Here's 3. One. Here's one. Ow, shit. Missed that thorn. Here's one, and here's one. Okay, I almost didn't come this way because I thought I had gotten everything in here. Apparently, not the case. So I got one more big one here. One more good sized one. I think I got him. Nope, there's another one behind me. Not a big one. Turn you. Here's one right by this little deer bed. Hope I don't disturb the deer, but I'm going to cut this one down. So I missed that first batch pretty badly, but I've been walking about 10 minutes since then, and this is the first one I've come to. So I've just been fairly thorough and not missing any. Got this one, and I got a little one right next to it. Oh, I've got 2 next to it. I've got this one that's up in the thorns, and this one I can get to. It's a little baby. Alright, I see 2 very large ones. Maybe too big to cut. Maybe too big to cut. Let's get over there. It's hard for me to hold the camera and
chop vines at the same time. So it's going to be a lot of more camera movement than my normal shakiness. So I've been here before. I got that one that's laying down. Got that one that's laying down. But I didn't mess with the big ones. Maybe I thought I'd come back with the chainsaw. I'm going to scratch the bark up and spray some poison on it. It's supposed to kill them. It might take a year, but it's supposed to work. We'll see. So actually I had cut it, and I guess I sprayed it. And it's not dead, although there are a lot of bare branches. So I don't know. This is supposed to work. So I cut it some more and sprayed some more. So I had a good morning this morning cutting the little tallow trees. I bet I got 50 of them. I'm out of juice. I'm out of poison now. I was about worn out. So I came on out. Ended up coming out down on another trail. Yeah, I know it's another trail. And there's still a lot of them back there in that corner. But they'll have to wait till another day. I only have a couple more weeks where I can do this, because once the leaves fall, I can't tell the difference between a lot of these different kind of trees. The sweet gums and the hollies and the tallows, the trunks look the same. So a few more trips back there, and then I'm gonna have to call it quits for the spring.
Now I've moved over here to where this area was cut 30 years ago. So these are mature trees. So they're not like preventing anything from growing because everything is done. But they do make a lot of seeds. So I'm long-term trying to get rid of all these.
So up front, we have the 11-year-old popcorn trees, because it was clear cut 11 years ago or 12 years ago. It's hard to say. Back here, we have 30-year-old popcorn trees, because this was cut 30 years ago. So these are really the bad ones, because these are the ones that are making hundreds and hundreds of seeds that the birds carry around, the wind carries around. So a year or so ago, David and I came in here and just cut down several dozen of these big trees with a chainsaw. Poisoned the stumps with the poison, and we had about 95% success rate. Every now and then you'll see something try to grow out on one of these stumps, but for the most part, once you spray them, it's a done deal. So the easiest thing to do is cut them down and spray the stump. But we have so much timber on the ground that we're trying to get rid of. We have timber from Hurricane Ida, which came through here and knocked down just dozens and dozens of pine trees. We have timber from dead pine trees, because we've got some kind of disease going back here. And the popcorn trees, and just, you know, natural old age. So I'm hesitant to put anything else on the ground until they lift this burn permit. Now that I have the trailer that I can put on the back of the tractor, I think we can clean up a lot in a hurry, because we can load up the trailer, go dump it, light the fire, come back and get another load. But we've had a no burn order for a couple of months now, because it's been so freaking dry. So I think I'm just gonna kill the trees, let them die, and maybe in a year or two they'll either fall down or we'll cut them down at that time. But we're gonna do the chop and squirt method, and I'll show you what that is. So this is a Home Depot hatchet. This is a Home Depot squirt bottle, the same chemical that I had in my backpack earlier. So we're going to chop, we're going to damage the bark and get into the growing layer of wood and put some poison in there. And from what they tell me, it's going to die. And here's a case of a stump that I poisoned, but it's just trying to come back. So we'll just squirt a little bit on there. That'll be that. That's it. The tree will die. I think I might have some back here what we can look at that I've already chopped. So this is one I chopped a couple of months ago. And you see how the bark is like coming loose, splitting, opening up. It's in the process of dying now. It still has leaves. It still looks okay. But it's gonna die. There's two more that I chopped.
You can really see the bark is looking very unhealthy. So this is awesome. They're gonna die all by themselves. And when they do come down, they're gonna weigh a whole lot less because they're gonna be all dried out. Sometimes it's hard to tell what kind of tree you're dealing with because they're all tall and skinny, and it's hard to tell, or you got to concentrate on which tree has which leaf. So like I say, once the winter comes, I won't be able to do this because I won't know what's what. Anyway, this is good therapy, walking around and chopping these tallow trees down.